Hey friends, it's Dr. Ray. Welcome back to another amazing video. I am joined by my friend Mike Mallory from RAD Roller, and today we're going to be talking about some simple at-home exercises and stretching and foam rolling techniques to release neck tension. And I don't know about you, but I often feel like I have a really tight neck. Sometimes I even get some tension headaches, and I also know I don't always have the best posture. I'm like looking at phones and computer screens and I have so much tension here. And I think it's the human experience that we hold tension in our necks, and most of us just try to live with it. We forget that there's stuff that we can do. And in today's video, Mike's gonna bring me through a routine where we're actually gonna work on releasing neck tension in all the areas, not just the obvious places, using a couple tools like a little bit of a small round ball here, as well as this really cool stick that we're gonna be playing with. So we're gonna go through this routine, and as we're doing it, Mike's gonna tell us about some of the anatomy, and you can follow along too and release your neck tension. So let's kick it off.
Yeah, so first things first, we did another video on the T-spine, which is actually a great primer for this. Opening up the T-spine really helps level out that head and neck. So remember, your head is a heavy ball. It basically weighs about as much as a bowling ball, 8 to 10 pounds. And holding a bowling ball up in air, especially if you stick your neck forward, and hold it like this, is almost impossible for your arm, but your neck does it, all day long. The more we can do to balance that neck over the T-spine, the better off we're going to be.
I want to pause there because I think that's a significant revelation, right? Like when we're posturally correct and we're stacked up, when we have the right thoracic extension and the head's not forward, like that's foundational, because we're always in this kind of position here where there's more work. Neck pain's never going to completely go away. So it's cool that we're going to work on that T-spine, and then we can get into these three moves.
Totally. So we're going to switch from the back, the T-spine, over to the front. This is kind of like part 2 of that movement.
Okay.
So what we want to do is work on the SC joint.
Okay.
That's the collarbone, right where it attaches to the ribs.
And you can feel this little bump here. If you follow your collarbone to the front and you feel that prominence where it's meeting with your sternum, that's where we want to be right now.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little smiley face right below that. We're going to hug that joint. And after maybe 10 reps or so of just kind of slow movement, we're going to go out towards the shoulder. So we're going to follow the bottom of the collarbone, which is now, that actually turns into the muscle called the subclavius. That muscle, helps with motion of the shoulder blade. If that thing gets tight, it locks it down to the rib cage.
And so you can totally just use your thumb and follow along with us right now to feel these certain areas. But even better, we have this thing here is a RAD round. It's something that Mike's company makes, and they have the right kind of density to really get into these areas you can kind of push on. Alternatively, you can use a golf ball, but it's not going to be as comfortable because it's a little too big and a little too hard. But either way, the point is we want to get into this neglected tissue on both sides. We just never pay attention to this because we're always focused on the bigger muscles, and this is foundational because everything's working upstream and downstream. So a couple minutes per side, right, Mike?
Yep.
Cool. And so once we're opened up here, what's our next move?
So we're going to move to the back of the neck,
okay.
And mainly the upper neck, right beneath the skull. So for that, we're going to use the rod. So this guy, you can use a tool like a RAD roller, a ball. What I like about this guy is it's super thin. We designed it that way so it can actually fit in some of these areas like that. So if I turn around, I want to just pressure this right into the base of my skull. And what we're going to do is, you can go up and down a little bit. You can get some light movements, but what I really like to do is actually pressure it this way. So I like to incorporate shear. That's essentially a sideways force into the tissue. And what I'm doing right now is I'm telling the tissue where I want it to go. You want to try that, Anthony?
Yeah, I do. And honestly, like I told you this before, Mike, I'm not typically the biggest fans of these small rolling balls because there's better ways to do it, but this, dang, so good. So again, make sure I'm doing this correct. I'm going to find that little crick underneath my neck right here, and I'm going to come left a little bit and then just play with these gentle moves and pressure. So I'm definitely pushing in.
Yeah, you're just going to take that and just pressure over. Kind of shear that tissue. Act like you're actually pulling it towards the back of your neck.
Yeah, I mean, it feels wonderful. Even these slight little pulses and vibrations down the side. I feel like I can pin and rotate slightly. This is deep. It's getting a lot of those deep muscles in the neck that
And physiologically what this is doing is it's helping your neck to rotate. You're guiding it in the direction of rotation. Yeah. So if we lack flexibility there, we can't rotate, and you start to get pain.
Good. So again, both sides we would do, but for the purpose of kind of speeding through this, you can assume that I've done my left side as well as my right. And at this point, I do already feel like my neck is opening up and feeling pretty good. What's our final move here?
Well, we got one more spot, and that's right above. So,
okay.
So these neck muscles that come up and attach to the head, they essentially anchor into a very flat muscle that sits against the scalp. That's the occipitofrontalis for any anatomy nerds out there. So what you want to do is just, first of all, just explore the scalp.
Yeah.
Go up and down. I'm feeling something right here.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pause on that and just pressure it for 30 to 60 seconds.
Yeah. And if you're doing this at home, you probably don't have one of these rods handy right away. You can even use your broad fingers with some tension and just feel like a ridge hand into those muscles, and you'll see what we're talking about. Like, this is just areas where we never really massage and use, but I'm feeling it. Like, I'm like opening my jaw a little bit as I'm doing this. Oh, and man, like these tissues could feel some love. Like,
it's crazy. Like, I feel it in my eyes, my jaw. I love these moves.
Let's get a little weird with me right now. Seriously, like one hand, do some jaw stuff. Feel up here, these unsung heroes muscles that are helping your jaw move, your neck move. Like, let's get into this tissue right here, and just don't forget we have these great muscles. It feels amazing. Like, and also anytime we're doing this kind of work, it's good for like cosmetic purposes too, because we're literally bringing blood flow to the surface areas where all this hair and connective tissue is. So like, that's just healthy in itself. So man, that feels good.
Love it.
Yeah, love it. Okay, and we have one more move here. I know that we're gonna be working on the traps too, I believe.
Yeah, so let's grab the RAD Roller. So again, traps, they're running from the shoulder blade all the way up to the top of the neck. You have this huge tissue that basically covers up the whole inner shoulder blade. So Anthony, I'm gonna take this ball, stick it right in the corner of your neck, and then we're gonna lay back down on it.
Sounds good. Right about here?
Yep, let's go up a little higher right there.
Sounds good.
Yep, go ahead and lay back on it. And then I'm gonna have you lift your hips up and kind of pressure down at a 45 degrees right into that ball.
Yeah, I'm there right now.
So we're working on traps, we're working on levator scapula, we're working on the first and second rib. We're just giving space to that whole area. This is good for the shoulder, but it's also good for your breath.
Yeah, and what I'm feeling is like the inhale exhale is everything with this motion. As I inhale big, it's actually moving me into more pressure in that area, which feels good. And
Totally.
I want to move, and I'm rotating my arm a little bit.
You can take that arm, you can bring it all the way up. That actually shortens some of that musculature, which can help drive the ball just a little bit deeper. But again, if you're finding yourself kind of holding your breath, tensing up because of discomfort, just back off, bring that arm back down, or bring your hips down.
Awesome. Man, this feels good. Like, so kind of in recap, we started off doing some thoracic spine work, which you can see again here on video to really open up the spine in that area. And then we got into actually using one of these point tools to work underneath the clavicle and kind of release some of this tissue on the front. Then we used some of these rods to get into the suboccipitals, as well as some of these muscles on here on the side of the head. And then we finish with the traps. What a beautiful routine. Like, I love it. I feel wonderful right now.
And if you actually follow this thing all the way through, it's incredible how good your neck can feel. A lot of people have literally never felt that type of release. So.
And I've seen these kind of memes before. It's like, it shows like the ape evolving into the human, and then it shows that the human is devolving with the phone back into like the shortened like robotic. You've seen that thing before? And it's like, it seems so true. Everything we're doing with technology is literally bringing us into this position, and everything we just did today is bringing us back into the upright posture of the spine in the head. And that just seems so important. Obviously physically, but I'm also feeling like mentally, emotionally, like when all this stuff is stacked, like I feel more human, man.
Totally. It's just basic corrective work. It's de-stressing. Give it a shot.
Hope you enjoyed this. Obviously, we use some very specific tools in today's video. I do recommend you get these. It's like a one-time investment. This will last you for the rest of your life, and you can get into these very specific areas. And like a tool like this, a small ball, I guarantee you don't have, it's also the perfect thing to get into your foot. It's also the perfect thing to get into some of these hand muscles. So it's like really versatile of what you can do with these. And you can find these on radroller.com, and you can use promo code FITFAMILY and get a great discount on that. They're also on our Fit Father and Fit Mother Project store, so you can click the links below this video and check those out. The tools make a huge difference, and this is the only rod I'll say that I've ever liked. So if you want to get a tool like this, a rod, get yourself a new gizmo, this is the one to get, the RAD Roller rod. So thank you, my friends. Hope you enjoyed this. We have a lot of other videos in this series on how to take care of low back pain, knee pain, and open up all these areas of your body. Mike has been so gracious running us through these really great routines, so check those out as well. Thank you for being here, my friends. We will talk to you very soon.